Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Raw Recap with the Drip King, Jimmy Bay, brought to you by Wrestle Buddy. Okay, this was a pretty wild Raw because it was a roller coaster tonight, coming off what I think the general consensus was a very, 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 very good Hell in a Cell. So we all know what Cody did. There's no better way to start Raw off than to have the man himself, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, come down to the ring to address the fans. And that's exactly what he did. He talks about his injury, talks about Seth Rollins. Then he hints at Money in the Bank, which I find very, very, very strange. The briefcases are up above, so they're really promoting the show. This would be my only issue with the show, is that they really did nothing to really push that Money in the Bank match that's coming up in a month's time. But back to the Cody. It's very interesting that he's teasing this because he's injured. He's out. That we saw the bruise. We saw the nastiness of what's going on. So not really sure where they're going with that. And it's got a lot of people thinking now the Cody Rhodes injury is a work. I'm here to tell you all it is not a work. It's not possible. If you're still in doubt, if you're still like, hey, no makeup, they could do that. No. Go back and watch the match at Hell in a Cell between him and Cody, or him and Seth. If for any other reason, because it's really, really fucking good, and watch the match, but pay very close attention to the bruise. That thing changes colors as the match progresses. So unless they have some crazy off-the-wall makeup that I've never heard of, that changes colors due to like heat or I don't know. I've never heard of it. I've never seen it. I don't think it's possible. So no, it's not a work, which is why, again, I find it very, very, very odd that Cody is teasing that he might do the Money in the Bank. As my man Zane here just said, there is no chance Cody is cleared in time for Money in the Bank. He isn't even cleared for backstage haircut. Okay, I like the first part. The second part, I don't know if I'm going to put another one of your comments up. We're done with the haircut stuff. Cody doesn't need a haircut. He's got beautiful hair. But, yeah, there's no chance Cody's clear. There's no chance he's in this match. It's very weird they would do that. But let's move on. As he's in the ring talking, out comes our man Seth Rollins. He's not dancing, though. So I'm sad. I like to dance along with him, you know. I love it. It's fun. It's a good time. This ain't Seth walking out. This is Kobe. He comes out. He lets Cody know Dusty would be proud of him. He came out and Cody shook Seth's hand the night after WrestleMania. He's here to do the same. He respects him. What he did last night was amazing. Shakes his hand, walks off. My thought was, okay, Cody's gone. They need a new babyface. Guess what they just did with Seth? Made him a babyface. Cody's playing to the crowd. He starts leaving. He gets to the entranceway. He does the one final goodbye. It's like, okay, he's gone. And then, boom, here comes Seth Rollins with the sledgehammer, and he takes him out. He rips off the jacket, vest, and shirt, and he starts going to work on the arm again. Seth Rollins is a maniacal villain. Some people call him cartoony. Zippy lips. There's nothing cartoony about it. As my man Teddy pointed out, the whole seriousness, even coming out with the gimp, it really just sold like, okay, this is not Seth coming out. This is Kobe. This is a real moment. That little thing right there sells it so well, so good. And this is why Seth Rollins is the man. Top of the game. Nobody better, in my opinion. But the attack afterwards, some people, it's not needed. Shush. It was good. It really paints Seth Rollins as this just dastardly sumbitch. So that happens. Commercial break, come back. They're still helping Cody up. He walks out on his own. I don't want the stretcher. Crowd claps for him. Mega over as a babyface. And when he comes back from this 4 months, not 3 weeks to Money in the Bank, the pop is going to be. It's going to be another WrestleMania pop. Cody knows exactly what he's doing. WWE is building him the proper way. It is great. And Zayn right here says, I can already see a Rumble spot with Cody returning while Seth is in the ring. Absolutely. There's another theory people got going around. You could find it for yourself. I'm not going to entertain it because it's not involved with tonight, so I'm not going to go there. And as my girl here, Amanda, says, the beautiful Amanda Jones, you can't fake swelling. You can't do it. I guess you could coat on like pounds and pounds of makeup, but that's coming off in a match. So no, hush your mouths, people. It's real. We come back from commercial. We're back from commercial, and Cody's going out, and they have Dana Brooke in the ring. Okay, who's she facing? None other than Becky Lynch. This is interesting. Okay, I was very intrigued at this. Match starts. We get not even a minute in, and here comes the 24/7 gang. This is even more interesting. You got Becky Lynch, one of the top stars of the entire company, now involved in this 24/7 business. That's interesting to me. And all hell breaks loose. Akira Tozawa gets in the ring. Dana pins him. She's the new champion. Becky grabs the mic. If anybody's going to be a champion here tonight in this ring during my match, it's going to be me. That belt is on the line now. And if any of you goons out there on the outside try to interfere, I'll punch you in the face. And since she is the man, we go to commercial, come back, and now we have a 24/7 title match between Dana Brooke and Becky Lynch. Let me repeat this for you all. A title match between Dana Brooke and Becky Lynch. There's people out there who will sit there and say Becky Lynch is selfish and that she is no good for the women's division because she's always on top. Shame on you all. That is absolutely silly talk. She continuously puts herself in positions to elevate anybody she's around. And this is a perfect example. During the match, Asuka comes out. She distracts Becky. Becky's like, yo, no. She still manhandles Dana. At one point, she goes to slam Dana. Dana reverses it, rolls her up. And then Asuka holds her foot down so the ref can't see it. 1, 2, 3. Dana Brooke just pinned Becky Lynch in the ring, not the middle of the ring, in the ring. 1, 2, 3. This is huge for Dana Brooke. And then Asuka takes off laughing, and Becky further goes down that rabbit hole of just losing her freaking mind. So just really effective way of using Becky Lynch to further the story with Asuka and give Dana Brooke some flowers because she deserves it. Yay, Becky, I'll take it. She can make interest occur by simply she has superstar power. And as Tidy here is pointing out, I point out as well, Becky brings interest and build, and it adds Becky trying to regain herself. She's going to completely fold, fall, and crumble, and then emerge from the ashes as the man. The man will be back in town. That is the story. Remember this. David, as this is something we agree on here, it ties into her downward spiral. The 24/7 title has to go, though Becky having attached to it won't elevate that joke belt. It won't elevate the belt, but it helps further push the story of Becky's descent. That was the goal here. And also, as I point out, it gives Dana Brooke some flowers because she deserves it. She puts in the work. She goes through all this weird nonsense, and she just never gets any kind of never gets anything for it. Literally, she's in the 24/7 stuff, which people hate. Which I'm not one of those people. I don't hate it. I'm not for it. I don't hate it. I enjoy it sometimes. I think this is a very effective 24/7 segment, 100%. But now we're going straight into the Asuka Becky feud that we should have got last month, but 2 people left, and that's what caused the whole triple threat which I'm not even complaining because triple threat at Hell in a Cell was triple kiss, triple threat kiss. It was really good. So commercial break, come back. A John Cena vignette. He will be returning to Raw June 27th, just in time for Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, and Clash at the Castle season. Thank you very much. I look forward to that. And as he says, yes, I agree. She won't, as long as she's not nonsense. I agree. But at the same time, I don't think Dana is anywhere near the women's title picture. I think where she's at works for her. She's on TV every week. She's out there. She's getting screen time. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Being on TV, showing what you can do. And it's just nice that in the midst of all that stuff that people think is beneath her and everything, she got a huge victory over Becky Lynch. That's big time. John Cena just sold out that arena, as Tidy says. Yep. So after that, we go to Miz TV, which again is so hit and miss this year. If it's good, it's really good and effective. If it's not, man, I really don't like it, and I want Miz to disappear. Tonight, I liked it. I thought it was good, but that probably had a lot to do with my main man, Riddle. Apart from Theory, who do you see Johnny getting in? Who do I see getting in the ring with Cena? I thought Edge. I'll get to that a little later. Theory is the main one. Absolutely 100%. Outside of that, I'm not sure. I guess it just depends on how long he's there. If he's there for more than one pay-per-view, we'll see. And KO was talking mess on Cena on Twitter. Yes, I wouldn't be mad at that one, but we'll see. We'll see where that goes. KO looks like he's empty this summer, so why not give him a match as well? Clash at the Castle. I think KO and Cena would be awesome. But Miz TV, Riddle is the person, the guest tonight, and Miz has Maurice with him because right now the new episode of Miz and Maurice is there. If that's your thing, I appreciate you choosing me over that. If that's what you're doing, I really do. Thank you very much. Check it out afterwards. There's 2 episodes tonight. But Maurice really helped this segment along with Riddle. Riddle come out and he basically let it be known he is challenging Roman Reigns for that WWE Universal Championship. He is mad that Roman took out his best friend Randy, and he's taken out the Usos, and he's done with that tribal piece of trash. He wants to take them out. So that's that. I don't even know the word. I'm speechless right now. Sorry, but it's now begun. Riddle versus Roman. I want it. Give it to me. It looks like we are getting it. Thank you very much. And at some point, Miz, he's mad that Riddle interrupted him. And then Riddle starts running him down, challenges him. Miz says no. And he says he got tiny balls. Then Maurice says he has average balls. Then Miz is like, no. She goes, he got above average balls. No. And then she keeps going up. Very, very funny. And at the end, she goes, he's got the most gigantic balls ever. And then Riddle says, prove it. Stupid nonsense that is very funny. But again, the Riddle has reached the point where this goofiness works because when it's time to get serious, the light switch flips and he is serious again. Theory should be the only reason John's there out over Austin, given the stamp of approval. I disagree with that point for this fact alone. John Cena cannot keep returning and losing because then the effectiveness of him putting people over kind of starts to lose. I know it's John Cena, and we're all like, he can never not be used effectively in this thing. But at some point, you have to look at it as like, he always loses. So what really is he doing by putting Austin Theory over? Everybody's John now. So I would like to see John get a few victories. Maybe even Finn, because they never finished that thing. Finn and John Cena. There you go, Zane. That's my choice right there. I'd love to see that one go back. You explained it. Made me giggle. I do my best, Tidy. Thank you very much. So as this is going on, Ciampa appears out of nowhere, attacks Riddle from behind, and then leaves. Very weird. And then Miz is like, hey, you know what? That match you challenged me for that I said no to a few seconds ago? Yeah, I'll take that now. Commercial break. Come back. The match has started. Miz is wrestling in his little suit pants and get-up gear. He's got the advantage over Riddle because he was attacked. But then Riddle gains some traction, and he starts taking over. Maurice gets involved. Doesn't help. Riddle He ends up pulling Miz's pants down. He's worried about showing off his tiny balls to everybody, so he's covering it up. Maurice hands him the purse, distracts the ref. Miz tries to hit him with the purse, but then Riddle ducks it. RK bro, that's what I'm calling it from now on. And then pins him 1, 2, 3. Then Miz has covered his tiny balls with the purse, and that's the match. Riddle goes over. Just to go back to this, no, I do not have John come in and beat one of your up and coming stars. Absolutely not. He can beat someone else. He doesn't have to beat Austin Theory. Austin Theory should definitely beat this guy. He should definitely beat John Cena. I'm saying I don't think John Cena should just come in, face Austin Theory, one off, and be gone. I think he needs to get a few wins so that it's not just, here's John to lose to another person. It just takes away from the effectiveness. Who that ends up being, I don't know. But again, I think John, if he's coming back, I think losing to Finn, he should put Finn over as the new Finn. He should put Finn over. I'll get to that a little later. And he should also put over Austin Theory. But at the same time, he needs to beat a few people. There are people there he can beat that can take these losses. You have your Sami Zayn's. You have your Kevin Owens's. I think Kevin Owens could take a loss to John Cena, and it would be completely okay. After that, we have a championship contenders match, which I know everybody loves so much. It's Street Profits versus Usos. Not a fan of the championship contenders match immediately after Hell in a Cell. I think that's a little weird, but is what it is. I'm not mad at seeing the Street Profits versus Usos. Probably the two best tag teams in WWE right now. So, yes, give it to me. It was a decent match. The ending, I was not a fan of. Count-out victories. And this, I know it's to just protect the Usos so that you're not getting the actual finish of this match when they actually do defend the titles. Be more creative. The count-out here doesn't work. Count-out, I'm usually not against. Here I am. Be more creative. So Street Profits will get a tag title shot in the near future. Whether it's for both, whether it's for one, we shall see. After that, commercial break again. We come back, and it's time for the almighty Bobby Lashley. He's out. He's talking about he's done with MVP and Omos. They're in his rear view. Thank you very much. We're done with that one. And then he is interrupted by none other than the talk of the first few minutes here, my boy Austin Theory. That possibly don't put the champs in that match. Again, if they are, don't do a finish like that. I don't like it. But yeah, maybe don't put the champs in the match like that. I don't know. I don't know. They don't have enough tag teams. So it's like, what do? You put the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy again. Ziggler and Rude. No. My man Tidy, he loves some Bobby Lashley, and he says, please say Bobby did good on the mic tonight or in general. It wasn't his worst outing. That's how I'll put it. Fix the tag team scene. Well, if they put two people together, people bitch. So, I mean, what do? You put people together, people bitch. You don't put people together, people bitch. So it's like, nobody's going to be happy ever. So whatever. I'm not going to get that much more into it because, again, like I said, I don't like the finish. That was my problem with it. But Bobby Lashley interrupted by Austin Theory. Austin Theory comes out and says, get out of my ring. But before you do, let's take a selfie. And then Bobby Lashley says, this is my ring. Then Austin Theory, he challenges him to the match. Austin Theory says, sure, after I show off my bicep. I got to laugh at it. It's really stupid, but it's funny. I laughed, so I'm not going to complain. Then Bobby Lashley says, yeah, sure, right after I show off my bicep. And it's clearly bigger. Austin Theory not very happy about it. Then Bobby says he wants to shot that title. I looked away for 2 seconds, came back, and Austin Theory was getting kicked out of the ring. Looked like he was leaving the ring, and he got kicked in the butt, fell out of the ring. So I'm sorry. I missed that little bit of information. But it looks like we're going to a Bobby Lashley Austin Theory feud for the United States title. Not against that at all because it's new. And it'll really put over Austin Theory going into a SummerSlam match, which, again, I believe is John Cena. It'd be great. So this is how I think Bobby Lashley should be used at this point. Commercial break. We come back. As Tidy says, they will bitch. So true. Yeah, it's the sad truth right there. And I wish it wasn't, but as my girl pointed out here, he went to take a selfie, and Bobby showed the dang comment. He went to take a selfie. Bobby kicked him from the ring. Okay, she saw it. Thank you very much, babe. Thank you for bailing me out of that one. But commercial break. Come back. We're getting Veer versus Dominic. This is a weird one because it's like they're not there 1 week, then they're back 1 week. It's like they're really trying to milk out the Veer Mysterios thing. Just do the handicap match and be done with it because Dominic needs to be off TV. As I said on the Twitter machine, this match went 2 segments. If Veer is supposed to be a monster and he's in the ring against Dominic, who he absolutely destroyed last time, going this long makes no sense. Dominic needs to go to NXT and learn. Get his ass down to the Performance Center because if you don't, what's going to happen is he's going to stay. Bad habits are going to form, and he's not going to be able to break them, and you're going to ruin the potential that he has. He'll never be a main event guy. I don't believe that at all, but he could be a very solid addition to your mid-card title scene. So don't ruin him. Send him to NXT before it's too late and get him off TV. I don't think anybody is excited to ever see him except for Ray. And I'm sorry, it's not good enough. And then what they end up doing here, Veer starts getting upper hand because for some strange reason, Dominic had a lot of offense in on this. It almost seems like they're over the Veer thing already, but they haven't given it an opportunity because they keep him stuck with the freaking Mysterios. So Ray got involved, though, at the end. DQ, Veer wins. So again, give me the 2-on-1 handicap and let Veer destroy them both. He needs to go around. That's never going to happen. It could help him. It always helps the talent. Drew and Cody, perfect examples for you. It could help him, but it's not going to happen. He's WWE lifer, in my opinion. Once he's gone from WWE, he probably won't wrestle no more. Because I just don't think he's that good right now. And if he's going in there with untrained people, what's going to happen? He needs to go get trained properly. Center of the Performance Center. Let him do NXT. And then after NXT, he can go travel the world and get better. Absolutely 100%. I'm not against the idea at all. I just think he needs to get better before he's wrestling people that's clearly out of his league. Someone's going to get hurt. Assume it's Dom needs to pull Cody, build himself before he pulls a Cody by getting stale, like Drip said. I don't even think it's about stale. I think it's just he's not good enough. He does the 1, 2, 3 tricks, and then he gets his butt kicked, and then that's it. And it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and it's over with. There's places for him to learn, but all these people go to schools and things. I don't even know if Dom's ever been to a school. It almost seems like he's just been self-trained by Ray. Ray taught him 3 moves, and they said, good enough for us, and they put him out there with Ray. And since he did, it seemed like he did such a good job in his first match, they're like, yeah, he's good. Let's roll with him. And he's not. You saw the first match. It's nothing has changed. He's there in WWE now, so send him to the Performance Center. Give him the chance to get better while he's there. Don't just ruin him. And that's the whole idea behind this is that there's no reason to keep him on the main roster until it's time to cut ties with him. Then he goes somewhere else because then he forms bad habits. Don't do it. Just get rid of him. But again, Veer won because Ray just interferes. They kick Veer out, and that's the segment. That was what it was. Commercial break, and now it's time for the biggest thing of tonight, Judgment Day. Best of the Super Juniors in New Japan did wonders for a ton of guys through the years. But how many of those guys were trained prior? How many of those guys had proper experience? I don't think Dom is getting any proper experience on Raw because he's just going through motions. He's not learning things. I'm sure Ray's trying to teach him things, but we're not seeing it. Get him away from his daddy. Let the people at the Performance Center really get into his ass and teach him. He has potential. Let's see it. Give him a chance to unlock that potential. And again, once his contract's up and he's done the Performance Center or whatever, and he's gotten better and he wants to leave and get even better, cool. I'm against that. Might even be able to. And I disagree with this 100%. the system is the issue. I don't think that's the issue at all, because you look at all the people that go to the Performance Center, there's been plenty that have been great. So that's not the issue. The issue is not the system. The issue is that his name, his daddy is the issue, because it's Ray. They're gonna let Ray have his son with him and have fun. That's the whole thing. Put your foot down, take him off the show, put him in the Performance Center, get better. Plain and simple. There's plenty of people in NXT who, when 2.0 started, looked terrible, and now they look really good. And in another year, they're going to look even better. The Performance Center works. You just got to get him in it. I don't think he's ever stepped foot in it. So, over Dom, though, I spent way too much time on that little boy. Judgment Day. They come out. WWE tweeted out that there would be a new member announced tonight for Judgment Day. So, Judgment Day comes out. Awesome entrance as always. It's the best part of Judgment Day. It's been so hit and miss for me that I don't know whether to be excited about things or just be like, what are they doing now? Tonight, that changes. They come out, they do their spiel. Damian Priest tells everybody to rise. Rhea Ripley says, we're going to eradicate everybody. And then Edge talks about people are seeing the vision and now they want to join us. And now I introduce to you the newest member. Out comes Finn Balor, which was a very popular prospect amongst the people out there in the Twitterverse. Edge says that after the match last night, he could see the fire in Finn's eyes. Finn went to Rhea and Damian after the match and said that he wanted to join. Now Edge is opening with open arms. Finn Balor cuts a quick little promo. Damian Priest grabs the mic and says, now it's time to get rid of the real problem. And they look at Edge, it's you, and they attack Edge. Very, very good. Everyone was on edge. Yup. Now, I'll go through this and I'm gonna come back to why this happened. And I'm probably gonna get a little bit hype here, so bear with me. So they start beating Edge. Edge fights back. I like that. I don't like it when someone's getting beat up by a gang, they just take it. Edge was like, no, and he tries to fight back. But it ain't happening. It's 3-on-1. Rhea's even getting her licks in on him. They take him out to the outside. I don't know what Damian Priest calls it, but I will never call it anything else other than a Razor's or an Outsider's Edge. And he hits the Razor's Edge through the announcer's table on Edge. Then they stand over him. Edge isn't done. He grabs Finn's leg. He's still wanting to fight. It's so good. They're like, all right, you still got some fight left in you, old man. Drag him into the ring. Grab some chairs. They set him up for the concerto. Out comes the officials to stop it. Rhea has a chair in hand, and she's fending them off. You ain't stopping this, boys. Judgment Day is here. Concerto to Edge. Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, and Finn Balor stand over his limp-ass body. Is good. It was shock. That's what the one thing that makes wrestling, other than the wrestling and the obviously those are the two key components. But what makes storylines so good is when things that you don't expect to happen. It was completely unexpected out of left field. Now, why exactly did this happen? I'm sure this was not in their plans. But Cody Rhodes is gone. You just lost one of your top baby faces. You put Finn, who was floundering, who has a lot of potential, and you put him in Edge's spot, and now Edge can take over as a top baby face on the show. Problem solved. He's not Cody. He's not going to fill Cody's spot. No, but he is a body that will help. And now again, Finn Balor is in a position. I'm going to get to that in a second. Now Finn is in a position to succeed because he has not been given this position because, and I'll say this, I know a lot of people are going to be mad. He's a great wrestler. I'm not taking anything away from his wrestling. Character-wise, he's boring as shit. He just smiles. It's boring as shit. With this, he has direction, and it will allow him to elevate and get to that spot. And now you have a Finn Balor John Cena match that is very interesting because he has followers behind him outnumbering John Cena, and it is good. Now, David says there's no backstory, none, zero, other than you figure it out, took weeks of great storylines, and did it all in 10 minutes. Now, you have next week where they come out and explain why they did it. You're jumping the gun. Now, here's where I get hype about this. And I never do this on the show, but I'm going to go ahead and compare two things that happened on he created Bullet Club in a whole other company, and that's not WWE. So in AEW, an injury happened, and AEW had to scramble and figure it out. I see people jumping through hoops defending the bullshit explanation that Tony Khan gave about the rankings and why Jon Moxley is now in the prime position to be AEW champion. Jumping through hoops to do that. WWE had an injury and had to improvise and change something, and they give us this, which creates a new main event star player. And people are trying to shoot it down before they even know what's happening. Come back next week, and if they're like, no story, they don't give you nothing, complain away. They haven't talked since it happened. So let it happen. Let them talk, let them explain themselves. Here, he is boring. He could be a great heel with. Exactly, Tidy. He is boring. I'm sorry to say it. And NXT was the most interesting he was, and really, he didn't even do anything there. He was just having really good matches. So, his explanation was bullshit. Yeah, I agree. But there are plenty of other people out there just, well, you know, no. Give it 1 week. Because, again, the turn happened, and they walked off. There doesn't always have to be this build to where you see it coming, because then it's not a shock. It's not unpredictable. It's predictable at that point. Unpredictability is great when it works effectively. This worked effectively because, again, it elevated someone to a whole nother. Finn was just floundering, doing jack shit. He was in matches so AJ Styles could lose without taking pins. Now he's the leader of a group that has a lot of momentum, and it immediately just pushes him way up the card. He's not jobbing out to people now. He's going to be beating people 100%. Next week, when they come out and explain why they did it, there's your explanation. And it doesn't need to be teased. I don't understand this idea that people have that it has to be teased. Doesn't. Finn Balor is now in a great position to have great success on Monday nights. It's going to be good. He could be the top heel with Seth Rollins with this story, with him leading Judgment Day. So it's fucking beautiful. Mwah! That's a big chef's kiss, not multiple. A huge chef's kiss. I'm excited for Finn. And again, Finn versus Cena, give it to me. From there, we go to the lowest point that I always defend Omos. This whole segment was fucking dumb. He comes out versus Cedric Alexander because Cedric Alexander keeps bothering MVP and he's annoyed by it. So then Omos slams him, pins him 1, 2, 3. That's it. That's it. The entrance for Omos lasted longer. That was dumb. Then, for some strange reason, out comes Rude and Ziggler, interrupting Omos's victory music. I don't know. They go out over to the little stage that they use periodically, and they're talking. They're saying, they're back, baby. MVP comes over and says, what the hell you boys think you're doing? Ziggler super kicks him. He falls into Omos's arms. Ziggler and Rude run off. MVP no sells the super kick, says, hey, go get them. And Omos chased after him. So we're going to go into an Omos MVP versus the Dirty Dogs thing. That's a big step down from Bobby Lashley. So at this point, I can't defend the Omos thing anymore. Maybe he should be gone and learn a little bit, make us forget him, and then have him come back, because you can't have him digressing. It doesn't work. And here we go. I'm agreeing with you. Dom should buy a ticket for Omos on his way to the Performance Center. Yeah, they should carpool down there, save themselves some gas money. They can roommate with each other and save themselves some money for that too, because they both need it. Dom, I stand by this, needs a lot more than Omos does, because Omos is a different kind of wrestler, but they both need it. Kevin Nash is supposed to be working with Omos. Kick it up a notch, Kevin. Let's go. We want this big man to be good. We want him to succeed. It's not working for him right now, so let's get it happening. commercial break, come back. And as I said at the beginning, it was a roller coaster. They really loaded the front end of this show with a lot of great stuff. And then towards the end, it's kind of just like, like, I won't say boring. That's rude to me. But I don't want to be that guy. But it's like really, really good, really, really good, really, really good. And then, here's something really, really good. Something. No, let's stretch it out some more. Convertible Omos is going. Kevin couldn't wrestle either, though. Who's Kevin Nash? Yeah, Kevin Nash was very good at what he did, though. He's don't. Kevin Nash was very, very good at what he did. Don't go there, bro. Don't do that. Is he as good a wrestler as Kenny Omega? No, it's two different styles. It doesn't work that way. Kevin was very, very good at what he did. And if Omos can just get to where Kevin Nash, it works. A big man doing that cuts off. Kevin Nash could talk. Yeah, and he could also put on a decent match for people. It worked. There's psychology that needs to be learned. It doesn't like Omos has learned it very well. But back to the show. We get Ezekiel versus Otis. Nothing special here. Just a very quick match. Zeke crucifix pins Otis. Otis is mad. Then Ezekiel grabs Mike. He says, look, if I learned anything from my older brother Elias, it's that we all deserve second chances. I want a rematch, Kevin Owens. Out comes Kevin Owens. I was wondering where this was going because Elias repackaged as Ezekiel because I believe Kevin. I'm on the Kevin Owens side. That's not, they're the same person. It's why he's losing his first big match at the pay-per-view. I don't think that's how you help these new repackaged people get to spots that you want them to be at. You gotta let them sink or swim. You didn't even give them a chance to sink or swim. You just dropped them before. But they're extending a little bit. He demands a rematch. Kevin Owens comes out laughing. He goes, no, I'm in a good mood. I'll give you your rematch. I want you to admit right now that you are Elias. And I'll give you your rematch. And then Ezekiel's like, so that's all I got to do. And he goes, all right. You're right. And Kevin's like, no. I want you to say you are not Elias. Look me in the eyes when you do it. Or that you are Elias. I'm sorry. And then so Zeke grabs Mike and he's like, all right. He looks at Kevin Owens. I'm Elias. Kevin Owens loses his mind. He's so happy. He's so just joyous. He finally did it. He finally convinced this son bitch to admit it. And then Zeke starts laughing. And he's like, what are you laughing at? He says, I just pulled a trick out of the Kevin Owens playbook. I lied. You said I had to tell you I was Elias and I get my rematch. And I did. I told you that. But I am Zeke. Kevin Owens is furious again. He's just from happy to mad just like that. He's so mad. Not the Scorpio Sky blackout. This is just a switch. Happy to mad just like that. And then he hits him with a knee. Otis and Gable slide in. He slides out, leaves. So we get a rematch next week between Elias and Kevin Owens. The match at Hell in a Cell was good. It was a lot better than I thought it would be. I'm not going to lie. Elias, I've seen him have like 2 good matches ever before Hell in a Cell, and last night was his 3rd. So I'm not ever really sold on his wrestling ability, but he was good last night. He should have went over, I agree 100%, or else what are you doing? And move on. The only reason I'm okay with it continuing is, again, I think it hasn't. Tidy says he loves the KO Elias angle. I love KO's side of it. I still have no idea where they're going with Zeke and Elias. It's weird, but we'll see. Rematch next week. So we'll see what happens there. I am sure that Ezekiel will go over there, and then we'll see what happens after that. Don't know. I'm clueless as to where this goes. I don't even think they knew. I don't think Ezekiel knows. But we will see. Ezekiel. I call him Ezekiel again. Slap myself. Elias. But we will see. Now it is time for the main event, and it is the women main eventing yet again in a 4-way match to determine the number 1 contender for Hell in a Cell. Now, Bianca comes out to watch it, as she has been doing for these matches. No problem there. The match is Rhea Ripley, who should be in this position. She is again, one of the top females on the Raw roster. Liv Morgan, who should be there because she's been doing fantastic work. Alexa Bliss, who is on a winning streak since returning, she should be there. And Doudrop, who no, should not be there. She's there because you want 2 heels, 2 faces. That's my guess, but it is what it is. Why not put Nikki Ash in and make it a 5-way? I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but they did it anyway. The match was good. I enjoyed it very much. Based on the rest of the matches tonight, I would say, yeah, it probably deserved the main event. Not a very good wrestling night tonight, but a lot of stuff did happen. Now, here's where my problem comes from, and I can't even. I know people say, "Oh, you're standing up for WWE." I can't blame WWE for doing this, but they had Rhea Ripley win. We're getting Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley, which I assume is going to happen at Money in the Bank. Before I go any further, he says, "No, Nikki." I don't know if you're trying to shit on Nikki or if you're trying to say, "Why not Nikki?" I'm not sure. I'm assuming you're like, "No, she should be in the match." But Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair has SummerSlam written all over it. The big stadium show, the second or third biggest show, depending on your interpretation of the Royal Rumble, perception of the Royal Rumble. So way too early for. I think it's a month early because, again, I think Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair is a great SummerSlam matchup. You give it a little bit of time to build. You have the 2 biggest females on there and the 2 most up-and-coming female stars on your roster in a huge main event level match. I don't think it's too. I think Money in the Bank's too early. I think SummerSlam was where you do it. It is a big summer match, and again, you're putting 2 new females in a main event. The 4 horsemen are not involved at all, which is what everybody wants, and it feels good because Rhea Ripley is there. Bianca Belair is there. These are the 2 that are going to be doing this for the next 2-3 years. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. The triple threat shouldn't have happened, but it happened because Sasha and Naomi walked out. So they had to move up the Asuka thing to Hell in a Cell, but she was involved with Becky, so they had to put Becky involved, and that's why we got the triple threat at Hell in a Cell. Now, Asuka took the pin, which was probably going to happen at Hell in the Money in the Bank when Bianca faced her, which was what I think the original plan was before the other 2 walked out. And now you have to move up your SummerSlam match to Money in the Bank. What are you doing for SummerSlam? I fear we're going to get Bianca and Becky again, which I don't think should happen. It's not that they don't have good matches. It just shouldn't happen. It should have been Bianca and Rhea, but instead we're getting into Money in the Bank unless they do a rematch, which is just as big as a no-no as doing Becky and Bianca at SummerSlam. Tidy says it needed to happen. Can always rematch at SummerSlam after Judgment. See, I don't like that. If you're doing a big-time SummerSlam match, when you have the opportunity to do a big match like this at a big-time pay-per-view, premium live event, if that's what you call it, it can't be a rematch. Rhea should get a run with the belt, but it's too early for Bianca to drop the belt. Again, I think Bianca could drop the belt at SummerSlam and it would be no issue. I think that it would work. I just don't like the idea of doing a Money in the Bank. It's just when you're that close to this big premium live event, pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, and you have the chance to put the title on Rhea Ripley in a fantastic marquee match against Bianca Belair, you do it. And it just all got ruined now. Sure, they could have went ahead and did Bianca and Asuka again at Money in the Bank, but if Bianca pinned Asuka, which I guess, looking back, maybe they should have had Becky take the pin. But again, this all falls back on the fact that when Sasha and Naomi left, plans just got completely foiled. This is an example. She can. People have lost the belt 2 years in a row at pay-per-views. You can do that. And it would be completely different. Last week, it was like a sucker. Last year was the sucker punch, just the beginning of a story. This one would be the beginning of a Rhea Ripley story. You could do it. I think that's looking too much into something. But what's going to happen is if they continue to let Bianca win. I've already seen people starting to turn on her, calling her Charlotte Flair. You don't want that to happen with Bianca. She has too much potential as a mega star for this company to let her get that far. But that's what we're getting. We'll see. Tidy says, then they better come out the hat somehow with some good build. Me and they need Becky. I don't know. They don't need Becky. It's very rare. I'm going to say this. They don't need Becky. I think Rhea and Bianca can have a hell of a program and a hell of a match without her. But yeah, that's the show. Again, it was a roller coaster. There were some really awesome moments, but there were some other moments that I was like, why? And again, there was no build towards the Money in the Bank ladder match. What the fuck? Come on, man. But we'll see what happens from there. That's the show. Thank you for all. Becky needs to take a backseat for a while. And hey, if you need any evidence that that's what she's doing, take a look at the night. She just took a pin. She just lost to Dana Brooke. And she was involved in 20%. She's taking a backseat. She's doing what she needs to do. But that's the show. Thank you guys for joining me. We went over big time tonight. But again, I feel like there was a lot to talk about. I got caught up with a lot of stuff because I really enjoyed a lot of the stuff tonight. I enjoyed it a lot. But then there was other parts, like I said, we're just like, he's coastering. Hopefully, when you watch the Hulu version, they just show you the good stuff, man. Hopefully that's what they do for you because you just heard the bad stuff from me. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it here because again, I've gone over. This is the longest one we've had yet. But I appreciate you guys for joining me. I had a good time with the show. I had a good time talking with y'all. So I will see you Wednesday night after the Dynamite. And goodbye. Boom. I'm still doing this by myself. I haven't figured it out. But that's the show. And I will see you all on Wednesday. Hopefully Dynamite is as good as last week's.